Hey guys, Ozzy here. So I tried shooting this video earlier today, but unfortunately I didn't realize that my mic was dead. So here we are again. So we're going to talk today about Tales from the Darkside, which was an American horror anthology that ran from October of 1983 to July of 1988. It was created by George Romero and had episodes that were written by him as well as Stephen King and many other horror icons from the past. Each season I have picked out 3 episodes that are my top episodes for each season. They're my favorites of Tales from the Darkside. So this is going to be a countdown of my top 12 episodes of Tales from the Darkside, going over each and every season. I have sat down and watched it many times. This current time around, I am watching it with a little bit more, putting a little bit more thought into it as I watch it. So as I'm picking out these episodes, I'm finding that some that I thought would be ones that were my favorites are not. Now, I hope that you guys are going to enjoy this video, and I would ask that before we start this, would you please do me a favor and go down to the bottom, click that thumbs up like button, and then if you're not already a subscriber, go over and subscribe. And if you did both of those things, would you also do me a favor and go down to the bottom and click that notification icon so you get notified anytime I upload new content. Now, let's get on with the show. So, these are, in my opinion, the top 12 Tales from the Darkside episodes. Okay, so number 1. We're not going to be doing this 12 in any real particular order. We're just going to be counting down 12 in the order that I have them written down. There are 3 from each. I will try to point out which of the 3 is my favorite in each thing, and then I'll go over at the end and let you know which ones are my overall favorites. So let's begin here with the first one, which is Trick or Treat. It was originally aired on October 29th of 1983. We follow Gideon Hackles, an old man. He likes to exploit the debts that people owe him. He holds these IOUs and he holds them over everyone in the area as collateral. He is a very rich man. We see him, he likes to play jokes on people. What he does is every year at Halloween he has the children come over his house, and basically he sets up kind of like a haunted house. And he invites the kids to come in to try to find the stack of IOUs which will erase their parents' debt. But he scares the living crap out of them with all these monsters and, you know, all these kind of like animatronic stuff to try to scare the crap out of them, and he does it. But as the night progresses, a witch starts to come after him, and then real monsters start coming out, and demons start coming after him to punish him for what he has done. Now, obviously, this episode is really tense. It's got some funny parts to it. It's really good, and then when you find out it was written by George Romero, that just makes it that much better. So check out Trick or Treat. The very first episode, this was the pilot episode, so check it out, Trick or Treat, from October 29th, 1983.
can't look you in the face. I don't wanna have still a lie. I wanted this love to survive. Now when I look in your I feel paralyzed.
Number 2, Mookie and Pookie, November 4th, 1984. Pookie Anderson, this is played by Justine Bateman, finds that her twin brother, who had recently died, is actually living in the computer system through computer code. He had her code his system so that he'd be able to live on. Her parents don't believe her and try to sell the computer, but she tries to fight them and stall as long as possible until he can have a chance to speak and let them know that he's really alive. It does have Tippi Hedren from Birds, if you guys remember the old movie The Birds, and it was written by Dan Kleinman. So, another one, this was one where I really liked it because it wasn't just horror, it had that very sci-fi element too, and that whole like Ghost in the Machine type vibe to it, but this was kind of before a lot of that stuff was available to me. So I really like that they kind of did that kind of alive on the internet thing. So check it out. This is, like I said, my number 2, Mookie and Pookie, originally airing from November 4th, 1984. Check it out. Now my number 3rd, and what I would have to say is my favorite of the first season, was Inside the Closet, and that originally aired on November 21st, 1984. We have a graduate student who is looking for a room to rent, and she actually finds the room with Dr. Fenner, and Dr. Fenner is actually played by Fritz Weaver. He plays the dean of the local veterinary school. In the room, she finds this little itty-bitty closet, and she swears she hears something in that closet, and she tries to open it, but she can't. He's told her that the closet has been locked since his daughter went away, and she lost the key. But she keeps hearing something, and she sees something moving around in her bedroom at night, and finally in the end she's able to get in the closet and find out what it really is. It's a great episode. This one was directed by Tom Savini and has a lot of really good practical effects in it. The creature that you'll see is actually wonderful, so you guys check it out. This is Inside the Closet, originally airing on November 1st, 1984. So now we're into season 2, and our number 4 position, which is actually my favorite of season 2, Halloween Candy, which originally aired on October the 27th of 1985. We've got Mr. Killip. He's an old man who hates Halloween. He's usually spending Halloween mistreating the trick-or-treaters, making sure they don't have candy, and also trying to invite trouble, basically, trying to entice them to do something so that he can try to go back against them and retaliate and call the police and everything. So basically he's a very crotchety old guy who just wants to cause trouble, and he's looking to do it on this night. And what he finds is actually goblins and demons start coming. And this goblin starts demanding candy, and when he refuses, he punishes him by trapping him in his own little pocket of time, where he ends up starving to death because time is moving so fast for him. And this was written by Michael McDowell, but it was directed again by Tom Savini. So as you can see, there is already a trend here. We've got 2 Tom Savinis on here, and this one, like I said, is my favorite of season 2. So check out Halloween Candy, originally airing on October the 27th of 1985. And in our 5th position, number 5, is The Devil's Advocate, which originally aired on November the 10th, 1985. We have Luther Mandrake. He's arrogant and just a completely rude and a total jerk of a radio DJ. He has a call-in show where he calls himself the Devil's Advocate, and he's supposed to be talking about things that he hates and things like that. He talks a lot about his hardships. The very first thing we hear him talking about is how a dead guy was found in his car, and he has absolutely no compassion for this dead guy who was found behind the wheel of his car for some reason. What we actually find out is, throughout the broadcast, as he's going, he keeps getting turned more and more into a monster, and we find out that the dead guy in his car was actually him. He's actually been in hell this whole time and being turned into this monster where he's going to be stuck in this recording booth for the rest of eternity, playing and responding to these calls that just make him angrier and angrier. Again, this one was written by George Romero, so again, we have a horror pioneer. It's a great show, and it has Jerry Stiller as pretty much the only actor in the entire thing. We hear some voiceover, but he's the only one that we really see on screen the whole time. It's a really good episode, single room episode, so you guys should check it out. Check out The Devil's Advocate, originally airing November 10th, 1985. So here we are at the halfway point, number 6. This is Monsters in My Room. This was aired on December 22nd of 1985. We have Timmy, who's actually played by a very young Seth Green. So anybody who likes Family Guy, Robot Chicken, who liked him on Buffy or anything like that, you're going to see him very young in this. He's living with a somewhat abusive, very off-putting drunk of a stepfather. And he finds out that he has a whole bunch of monsters living in his room. One of which is actually a saw blade that keeps popping out of the wall, a troll, a witch, and an octopus. obviously every time he calls his mom or his stepdad in, it does not happen. They're not around, and he's told he's a liar, like the boy who cried wolf. So he actually at one point gets so fed up that he actually talks back to the monsters and tells them that he's not going to handle it anymore. He's not going to deal with it anymore, that they need to leave him the hell alone. So it's a really cute little story, and like I said, you get the chance to see a very young Seth Green stretching his acting muscles as a kid. And that was, so you guys want to check this one out. It's called Monsters in My Room. It originally aired on December the 22nd of 1985. Now we're moving into season 3 with episode 7. This is going to be the 7th episode that's my favorite. This is The Circus. The Circus was originally aired on September the 28th of 1986, and it had William Hickey in it. You'll recognize him. He has that very distinctive voice. He's a really good actor. As soon as you see him, you'll know who he is. He's a character actor. He's played in a lot of things. He plays Dr. Neese. He's the founder and the ringmaster of a circus that showcases real-life monsters like vampires and werewolves and things like that. And a newspaper columnist comes to try to debunk his carnival. He's there to investigate the circus to try to prove that everything that's going on is fake. He asks for a personal viewing and is treated to this viewing with the caveat that he has to not say anything to anyone. So they sit down and they do the viewing, and he ends up trying to stick his nose in where it doesn't belong. He's very nosy. He's trying to find out how to shut this thing down, and he ends up getting attacked and becoming part of the troupe as the resurrected man, the dead man. This one, again, written by George Romero. So the horror elements in this one are really good, really on point. So you guys check this out. It's The Circus, originally airing on September the 28th, 1986. Alright, so we are down to number 8. This is A Serpent's Tooth, originally aired on November the 16th of 1986. We find Pearl King. She's given a serpent's tooth by a friend of hers. They're trying to show her, it's kind of like the serpent's tooth is kind of like a monkey's paw. Whatever she asks for is going to happen. And she's very overbearing. She wants to control her kids very much so. So what she really wants to do is use the serpent's tooth to make them do exactly what she wants them to do, to control their lives and make sure that she's the only one who is the center of their lives. And what she ends up doing is, by being a terrible mother, she ends up turning herself into a pillar of salt. This was pretty good. I didn't really recognize anyone from it, and it's not really written by anyone who I recognized as being someone major in the horror community. But it's very good. The satire in there is good. The way the mother is overbearing and the kids try to deal with it, and the way the kids have their own thing going on and the mother's trying to horn in on it. Really good episode. So give a check to A Serpent's Tooth. Originally aired November 16th, 1986. And now number 9, and my favorite from season 3, Seasons of Belief. Originally aired on December 29th, 1986. It's Christmas Eve, and we have a family, a husband, wife, and their 2 kids sitting around, and they're telling stories. The kids are really kind of wanting to, they want to be the center of attention and everything, and the parents decide to tell them a kind of a scary story to put them back in their place, and they start telling them about this mysterious creature called the Grither, who lives on a wrecked ship in the North Pole and hunts down anyone who uses his name and kills them regardless of how far away they are. It can find them. The Grither, the more you talk about it, the more the aspects of it change. So this creature is never really known to be how it is. And a set of circumstances keep happening within the story to make it seem like the Grither could be coming for them. But obviously, this is a story told by the parents, and it's something that obviously is not true. And then you get to the end where the arms come through and grab a hold of both parents and just pull them out, and the Grither is there. So I really love the twist that came in here, and this was written by Michael McDowell, and the story was actually from Michael Bishop. So you guys check this one out. Seasons of Belief from December 29th, 1986. This is number 9 and definitely my favorite from season 3. Now we get to number 10, and this is the first one from season 4. It's called No Strings. It was originally aired on October 25th of 1987. We have a mob boss who was played by TJ Castronova, and that's actually the executive producer from the series. And he forces a ventriloquist who is played by Barry Dennen. And if you guys didn't know this, Dennen is the one who had his voice as the Skeksis Chamberlain in The Dark Crystal. And what this mob boss does is he actually takes one of his rivals and he has him turned into a ventriloquist dummy and has him all put up, like Weekend at Bernie's type style, so that the ventriloquist can voice and manipulate the body, turning him into a living marionette or living ventriloquist doll. It was just a freaky idea, and it's really good. The twist is just awesome. You guys gotta check it out. It was written and directed by David Odell, who is actually the author of The Dark Crystal. So, really good writer. That's just... You guys have to watch this one. It's really good. It's called No Strings, and it originally aired on October 25th of 1987. So. Now what I decided is I'm going to give my number 11 pick, and then number 12 is going to be my favorite from the entire series, even though it's going to be out of order of air date. It's going to be my one that's actually my favorite for number 12. So let me talk about number 11 first. This is called Family Reunion. It was from May 2nd of 1988. We find a man and his son kind of locked away in a little cabin. The boy's mom is coming for him and wants to be put back together with her kid. Pardon. The father seems to be protecting from the mother, and we can't figure out why. But also, the father has the son locked in a room with locks on the outside of the door so the boy can't get out. So he's not just protecting him from the mother, he seems to be locking the boy away as well. And we find out that the mother is actually a werewolf and the son has inherited it. And she's there to kill the father to reunite with her son. Because he's been unable to control his changes, and she's just there to help him. So it's really good because it plays on that twist of we're thinking the father is trying to help his kid, and really what he needed was his mother all along, even though she was this, what we deem a monster. This was directed by Tom Savini as well. So again, another one of those that we had a horror icon at the helm. Great episode. So this Family Reunion from May 22nd, 1988. And finally, in the number 12 spot, which is by no means the worst, this is my favorite of the entire series. It originally aired on November 8th of 1987. It's called the Yattering and Jack. We have a demon, the Yattering, who is sent to Earth to basically corrupt a guy whose name is Jack. He can't touch Jack. He tries to, it's Christmas time, and he's trying to terrorize him and his family, and by doing whatever he can by using decorations and things around the house, but he can't touch the people. He tries anything he can to phase Jack and make him admit it, because if he does, then Jack will go to hell and everything will be just as it should be. But if Jack can trick the Yattering, he can turn the Yattering into his servant and make him work for him. Now, the great thing about this one is this is actually based on a true story by Clive Barker, and it was originally in his Books of Blood series. It's a really great story. So anything Clive Barker is awesome, and this is really great. You guys have to check it out. Now, obviously, they were constrained by budget back then and everything, so the Yattering wasn't as great as it could have been. I would love to see an update of this, not turned into a full movie, but like a new version of the Yattering and Jack, and maybe a new Tales from the Darkside or something. So guys, you guys really have to check this one out. This is the Yattering and Jack. It originally aired on November 8th of 1987. Alright guys, so that was my list of the top 12 episodes of Tales from the Darkside, the anthology horror show from the 80s. But again, that's just my opinion. You can let me know yours down in the comments. And guys, if you haven't already, go down to the bottom, click that thumbs up like button. Also, if you're not already a subscriber, please go down and click that subscribe button. And if you did both of those things, would you go down and click that notification icon so you get notified anytime I upload new content. Thanks for coming in, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll talk to you later. Ozzy out. Bye.